ladies and gentlemen. This is Joe Kazana along with the Spank, and we're happy to have the NWA United States Tag Team Champions with us tonight. Although we've only got one right now, Wrecking Ball is working on getting on, but now
he's lost. Let's put it right. He's probably lost, and he's extremely smart man, but just this one-track mind. So if he can't figure out which way the doorknob turns, he's going to be lost for a while.
Well, I understand. I've been around him enough, but like I was saying,
I do have his replacement. So
that's the baby fixer.
Well, the little fixerette, whatever we want to call her, but she can stand in for Legursky.
There you go.
A lot, so it's pretty much the same thing.
That's awesome. Well, like I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is one half of the Fixers and one half of your NWA United States Tag Team Champions. This is Jay Bradley. So
you missed something. I'm the captain. Haven't you watched the product? I'm the captain. I was given that term. Shut up. I was given that nickname by the NWA itself. I'm now not only the captain of the Fixers, but the captain of all of pro wrestling.
Oh, so you're captain of the whole shebang from the big boys all the way down to the roll-offs, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've been everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, look at my resume. So I'm the captain of all that stuff. Some people call themselves the king of pro wrestling or emperor of pro wrestling or a master of this. I'm the captain. Been there, done that twice or three times, maybe. I don't know. Been fired enough. I don't know.
Well, I can understand that, man. You and I were talking the other day, and you were telling me a little story about the gentleman that had trained you or had a hand in training you. And I believe you said it was Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Yeah, I trained with Doc. Actually, I've been a real. You want to throw a buzzword around here? Or blessed. People like to say they're blessed about a lot of things, but I really have been with who I've. I got food. I'm pulling a Legursky. I think I got food in my beard. Anyways,
I'm just waiting on him to get on the cast here.
Yeah, I told you he's probably going this way to the left on the knob, and he's probably going to go right. He'll figure it out. So yeah, I've been very blessed with who I was trained by or groomed in pro wrestling. It's probably a who's who. I started out in Chicago at the Steel Domain Wrestling with a group of guys. Danny Dominion, Ace Steel, and Kevin Quinn. A lot of those guys went on to do some in a lot of international stuff back in the early 2000s, late 90s. I bounced around the indies and I got, groomed and helped out a lot by guys like Bull Payne and Tracy Smothers.
Oh, Tracy Smothers. I love Tracy Smothers to death, man.
Yeah, it was a wonderful man. And then when I got picked up underneath the WWE contract, they sent me to Deep South. So my trainers down there initially were Bill DeMott and Dave Taylor. Doc, hang on one second. I'm having a separation thing.
Okay. I believe he was getting ready to say good old Dr. Tom Pritchard was one of his trainers down at FCW.
Well, no, this is Deep South,
Deep South.
Of FCW. Yeah. So Jody Hamilton, the assassin, was there. He used to run the power plant for WCW. Bill DeMott, Dave Taylor. Dr. Death came in around that time, as did Robert Gibson.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Tom came in shortly about, 8-9 months in. And then Dr. Tom spent a lot of time with him and Brad Armstrong. Guys like Finley and Regal would come in and roll around here and there with us. Then I went to OVW and worked with Danny Davis and Al Snow and Dr. Death and Robert Gibson. We're still in and out there every couple of weeks. And then back to Florida. We're Florida Championship Wrestling with Doc again for a good amount of time. And his crew down there, like Norman Smiley and Steve
Fixers!
Oh, my God.
There he is. He showed up.
I told you he would figure out which way the doorknob turned. You just got to give him time.
I got you. Well, continue your story, Jay.
So, that's where I spent a lot of time, grooming and getting trained by. I also did a brief summer stint at the original New Japan Dojo prior to Deep South, and it worked with a lot of great talent out there, like Rocky Romero and TJ Perkins, Samoa Joe. Tons of just great guys that came out of there or came in to work out. yeah, I got to bounce around a little bit. Done a bunch of tours with Japan where I got to go over there, and I wasn't a dojo boy or a young boy, or whatever you want to term is, but I got to do the workouts voluntarily and here and there, so I got that experience as well. So yeah, just bounced around a lot and got the opportunity to get a lot of different viewpoints on pro wrestling, from whether it was,
I mean, you've been around a long
amateurs.
time then. I mean, you bringing up names like Tracy Smothers,
Yeah.
and God rest his soul, he's been gone a while, but Tracy was one of the, one of the original guys that I worked with when, I was with WCW and the old NWA, which was Jim Crockett, and Tracy was there. So yeah, I mean, you must go back quite a ways in the business.
Well, my balls are old, not quite as old as your balls, but they are. I think I'm closing it.
Don't say one word, wrecking ball.
I think I'm closing in on almost 25 years now. Yeah. So
wow,
it's
man.
been 24, 25. I sat down. I started breaking in when I was like 1998 or so.
Good.
I was
in
middle school. Elementary school in '98.
I was going to say, let me go ahead and welcome in the other half of America's tag team, half of the United States tag team champions, and fixtures rule, right?
Fixtures rule.
Exactly.
Wrecking Ball Legursky, man. Welcome to the podcast, man. I'm glad to see you.
Glad to see you too.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your background. We've got Jay's background. Let's talk a little bit about your background as far as who trains you, where you trained, what you're, where you've been as far as on the independent scene and what you're doing. Like now, I know you're working independence now. So, I mean, just give us a quick highlight of what the Wrecking Ball Legursky's all about.
All right. So I trained for a few years in this school in New Haven, Connecticut. Whoa.
Rick Steiner.
One track mind. Just answer the question. Don't worry about the dog. Answer the question.
Well, no, there's a barking dog. I have to communicate. In New Haven, Connecticut, got my start there. Learned how to roll around a lot. The trainer was kind of a turd, so I'm just not even gonna name him. Just learned rolling and stuff there. Then I trained with Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Vincent. Matt Taven, Mike Bennett are in the Kingdom. Vincent was a big part of Ring of Honor. And then I trained with Bully Ray for at least 2 years or so.
How was that?
And then it was good. It was really intense. I definitely learned. I was at the right place at the right part of my career for each of the trainers. The first guy, I learned how to roll around. I feel like I could do rolls better than most guys my size. Taven, helped me with fire and intensity. Vincent, I learned a lot of character development from him. Obviously, Vincent has one of the best horror related characters, and he's someone that really evolved over the years. And he's someone that helped with the character development and actually wrestling how I should wrestle, you know what I mean? How would it was just how would a wrecking ball wrestle? How would a wrecking ball respond in this situation? How would a wrecking ball sell this? How would a wrecking ball attack? How would
smash? He go through wall.
Yeah.
Deep break.
Making it make sense. Bully Ray, it was a very intense experience, and that's where I learned the most in-ring psychology, making the most out of what I do, cutting out the nonsense, or at least as much as possible, really making the most out of every single thing that I do. And yeah.
Well, I mean, I've watched you guys work. There's no wasted motion with what you all do anyway. I mean, you're constantly moving. You're big guys. You do. I don't like the term small guy stuff because you guys are, or we all were and are professional wrestlers. So you guys work not so much like, maybe like the Road Warriors did back in the day, when they'd go on TV and just, mop the floors with these guys. I mean,
that's what we're going to do to the country gentlemen. Let me tell you.
Well, we'll get to that in just a second. We'll get to that in just a second. But like I was
ugly
saying,
orange shirts.
It's a pretty cool shirt. I mean, it's an ugly shirt.
It's going to make a great.
Now that's Tennessee orange, man. That's good stuff. But like I was saying, you guys work like a well-oiled, say, Midnight Express, maybe. You guys have continuity amongst yourselves, and it's not like you go in there and it's not high impact every single time. Because I've seen you guys work, and I know you can throw a hip toss or an arm drag if you have to. That much I do know. And Wrecking Ball, let me introduce you to the Spank right here. He's our co-host on the show, and he's the Spank, and he's my graphic guy. So. Yeah. You can beat him up when you see him in Knoxville.
Good, but then I do a lot of things bad.
Wow, you do look like the Spank.
The Spank, right there he is.
And you can take that to the Spank Bank because fixers rule.
Fixers rule.
He was saying something else about an hour ago.
I don't know.
Whoa.
You can't. I don't want you purchasing anything from us with Spank Bank. Okay, like we're not going to do that. Okay. At all.
You don't want the Spank's money?
No, I want your money. I don't know whatever you call it a spank bang. That's not going to get very far.
Absolutely not.
Everybody needs my Spank dollars.
Spank, just if you got something to chime in with, chime in. But if not, just sit there and look like yourself.
Spank off.
Just ribbing you, Spank. Just ribbing you. If you want to jump in, Spank, jump in if you got a question. But like I was saying, with what you guys
don't spank on the ribs.
There you go. You guys, and I've told both of you this to your face, that you're probably one of my favorite tag teams out there, if not the top tag team or the second best tag team that I truly enjoy.
The sons that you wish you had.
That's what you say. That's what you say.
Suck AJ.
That's what you say, and you've been saying that for a long time. But the first time I watched you guys work was probably at Always Ready, and it was impressive with what you did there. But what even more impressive to me was when we were all in St. Louis, and you guys were in that 20-team elimination battle royal for the U.S. Tag Team Championships. You guys took out 19 other teams.
19
and won the darn thing. And as a matter of fact, I think as far as the way it was, you guys entered right before the Country Gentlemen did, and it was. I mean, with watching what you guys did in that particular battle royal setting was nothing less of impressive. And I congratulated you guys after the match on
well, that made us kings of the USA, right?
You are the tag team of the USA. You were.
No, we became kings of the USA.
Exactly. I agree with you right now.
American males.
I remember them. But like I said,
we're the most American males.
Oh, you guys.
We just don't have the clap.
We're not just the American males, the most American males.
Most American males. Yeah. Well, that way you won't have any gimmick infringement. So
nope.
But like I said, you guys have been fighting champions. I mean, you've wrestled anybody that's gotten in your way. Like I said, the thing that you did in St. Louis was very impressive, and there's nothing more that you can say about that. Then we step up a little bit and we head to New Orleans. And down in New Orleans, you guys, I mean, you had a couple of matches down there. I believe the first night you guys defended the championships. And I know the second night you defended them for the very first time against the Country Gentlemen. And from everything that I've seen, that team can match up with you guys rather well as far as size and strength. You did get the win the other day.
Rocky Top, Tennessee. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Strangers ain't come down from Rocky Top, reckon they never will.
Well, all right, Wrecking Ball Legursky. It looks like Jay probably had to take his dog out for a little spin. So
He missed our NWA ad.
well, you know, the
Uh-oh.
NWA ad. It's Knoxville. But like I
Jay,
was
where
saying,
are you?
me,
Jay, Jay.
Jay is somewhere.
He'll be back.
He'll be back in just a second.
Oh.
Hey, wait a minute. He just hopped on. Here we go. All right. There comes Mr. Jay Bradley. I thought you were asking
Joe,
me
do
where
you
I
think
was.
we
I
should
was
say the Pledge of Allegiance?
I'm in my Star Trek office.
What
Yeah.
a nerd.
Nerd. Yeah.
Nerd.
Nerd. I'm a nerd. I can't help it. I cannot help it. Well, let's see. There he is. Hello, Jay.
Hello.
All right, guys. Like we were talking about a second ago, as far as going down to New Orleans, that was the first opportunity that you all had to actually step in the ring with the Country Gentlemen. They were bigger than most. Compared to you guys, it's
bigger than
size for size.
Not bigger than us.
Well, but
They're the closest.
they do stack up with you guys pretty well.
I'll make sure Legursky eats a big breakfast. That won't
good
matter.
Lord. Don't do. Well, I don't know. Knoxville's got a couple of good eating places. But you guys got the win down there in New Orleans. Big win. But like I said, they stood toe to toe with you guys. And I told both teams after the match was over with, by far my two favorite teams right now, the Fixers and the Country Gentlemen. Country Gentlemen for the obvious reason, it's family. You guys, because it's just when I watch you guys,
the family that you want to have.
There you go, the family that I want to have. That's it right there. That's it right there. Maybe we can talk Mr. Corgan into doing something like that. You never it'd be crazy, man. Be managing the Fixers against the Country Gentlemen.
He could adopt us, but I wonder if he can cook and how many times a week we can go to Shoney's for the buffet.
You're
taking your new sons to Shoney's if we're adopted.
Well, we don't even have a Shoney's close by anymore.
What?
No, they closed the only one we had. It was over in Athens, Tennessee. It's the only one we had.
There's one in Harriman.
I'm not going to Harriman, Spanky. But let's get back to the Fixers. This is the United States Tag Team Champions.
USA.
Fixers rule. Right, there you go. But let's go ahead and move forward a little bit to Knoxville. You guys are going to go again against the Country Gentlemen. United States Tag Team Championships are on the line. You all have been fighting champions. There's no doubt about it. But you are going to the Kazana's hometown.
So it makes me wonder how this title match actually got made. We beat them once, and then somehow in their hometown, they get another title shot.
Well, I mean,
I'm not good at math, but that doesn't add up to me.
I had nothing to do with it either, just so you guys know that. I was completely oblivious, just like I am all the time anyway. But all BS aside, you do have a tough matchup against the Country Gentlemen in Knoxville, which again, like I said, is the Kazana's hometown. At Always Ready, I was out at the ring, and there was a time in that match that there was louder chants for AJ than there were for Ricky Morton. So I mean, that's pretty big, But I know you guys are going to be ready.
You know what those guys have in common? We beat them both up.
I saw them both. I did.
Both of them.
Yeah, I saw that.
So what you're saying is the boos are going to be pretty loud when we pin them.
The boos may be loud when you come out if you pin them.
When?
if they pin you, the cheers could be
What?
deafening. We don't know.
No.
What's great? You know what's great? Like I've been working on this new. I call it a turtle shell. So I can't lay on my back, and so I've been trying to gain weight and get one of those hunchbacks. So I can't lay on my back anymore. So I can't be pinned.
I got you.
It's
But
a winning strategy.
like I said, in all fairness, these guys, like I said, they stack up well with you all. I mean, they're big, they're strong, they're they can be mean, just like you guys, and from my perspective, and as a fan, not as a promoter or a former wrestler, but as a fan, this is the match that I'm looking forward to more than any match out there. And that's because both teams can go, and this match could literally last an hour. I mean, it really could, in my opinion.
Don't scare Legursky like that. Don't scare Legursky. We are not meant to run the distance. We're sprinters. I mean, short, quick bursts of speed, not this marathon stuff.
Well,
But,
I can see you.
Yeah,
guys
look at
doing
me.
that.
I'm a sprinter, goddammit.
When this match got made, I spoke to the NWA boss, Billy Corgan, and I was really interested. The boss's boss. I'm the captain now, remember? I spoke to him, had a good conversation, and I told him I was looking forward to get in the ring with the Country Gentleman again for some of the reasons you just mentioned. Let's face it, in modern wrestling, especially in the last 20 years or so, the average size of the athletes has gone down from what it was 20, 30 years ago, but the athleticism has gone up. And you've got four guys who have that, they're maybe might not be the right term, but that old school size that, we're all well over, we're all over, 250 pounds, if not damn near close to 300 each of us. And, we'll make sure Legursky eats a big breakfast.
I'm not close to 300.
You might be a little north of 300.
We'll make sure he gets an
close
extra
to
stack of
400.
pancakes. But and all of us can move, and all of us are athletic and very good at what we do and well trained. As big as old Legursky Wrecking Ball is, you got a former collegiate athlete. I've been around the world in this business, and your son is obviously a second generation wrestler, and him and Anthony.
He's
Andrews
third generation, actually, Jay.
Oh, excuse me.
Whoa.
We're snobby.
Calm
Let me
down,
put
pal.
the pinky up. But they've got a great wrestling pedigree, and dare I call them up and coming.
Time to play the game.
They are younger than at least me, and but training
That's
with
not hard
guys.
to do.
I know. We discussed my old balls before you got on.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, mine's a little older,
but they got good. You want to call the term good stock or good training and good mentorship behind them, and really for guys like that with size and athleticism, there's not much of a ceiling anymore because that's kind of a commodity now where the size and the athleticism come together. Usually it's one or the other. So I'm really looking forward to that matchup myself and just seeing what else can we do? What else is going to come of it? I dare I say with some of the situations and the circumstances you mentioned a second ago, you can kind of see a little bit of a natural rivalry. We're walking into their hometown. You know what I mean? That's Knoxville. They bleed orange. Tennessee's country boy country. You know what I mean? It's one of those places that's like, country boys can survive. Going back to old Tracy Smothers, and he's from that neck of the woods too. I could see it, like you said. I could see it going the old fashioned slobber knocker and going the distance and being a rough one. I can see it being a smooth one with some wrestling, because I know everyone in that ring is well trained and can stand on their own in the ring. So, I definitely told Billy it was an exciting matchup, and the dynamic of being in someone's home turf is always a fun one.
Sure,
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Just territory.
I mean, it's kind of like if you could go back to, like, say when AJ was playing football at the University of Tennessee, when a team like, and I'll just say Alabama because they are one of the greatest teams out there. Alabama comes to Knoxville. All they want to do is knock off Tennessee. You guys are coming to Knoxville. You guys, I'm sure anybody that comes in to work with, Kerry Morton, he's an East Tennessee guy. I'm sure they want to knock him off the pedestal, just coming into their home territory. But coming into the hometown, you're talking a lot of family. As far as the Greek community goes, there's a lot of us out there. Like I said, I'm looking more forward to this match than I am.
Wait. Did you say Greek?
Greek, yeah.
So how many restaurants do you guys own, and can we get free passes?
Something. If the show is on a Tuesday, I would love to take you guys to Louis. And just sit down and have some good Greek food. It's not too far from the convention center. But my family, before my grandfather actually started promoting, he owned a restaurant in Knoxville. He wrestled. He started wrestling in the 1930s. Took some time off, opened a restaurant, opened a photo studio, sold both of them, bought the wrestling business from my uncle, and the rest is history from there. But yeah, like I said, man, this matchup is intriguing just because I look at you guys, I look at the Country Gentlemen, and there's so much, I guess, continuity, like you were saying, between the four of you. I know that you're taking this match seriously. I mean, I know you all like to have fun. Legursky, I know you love to have fun, but I know you guys are taking this match as seriously as the gentlemen are. I talked to AJ earlier, and he was excited about the match, and he actually, told me to tell you guys, good luck. So
for losers.
A little bit of luck goes a long, long way, though, guys. I'd rather be lucky as good any day of the week. But again, like I said, Knoxville is a tradition-rich wrestling town. You guys have wrestled there. You weren't the U.S. Tag Champions at that point, but you guys were there, and I believe at that point you all were actually cheered in the building. There were a lot of Fixer fans, in Knoxville back then at Always Ready, just like I'm sure there's going to be this time. I sit back and I try to look at your philosophy, and maybe y'all can help me and smarten me up a little bit, but the philosophy you guys have, I've noticed, has gone from, I guess, a traditional type of, let me shake your hand, let me sign an autograph, to, pretty much doing your own thing. I mean, is that fair to say?
We just do it. I guess that's a pretty good way to put it. Actually,
and we do our own thing.
Yeah, we do our own
and
thing.
And represent America.
Yeah. We're not. We're a very unique dynamic, I think, with as far as tag team goes and fan interaction. And I think a lot of people get with it, and there's a lot of people too that it's just not their cup of tea. You know what I mean? But that's the cool thing about pro wrestling, where you and I talked about it before we started recording about things that people got out of, or they took out of pro wrestling, or some of the bigger companies because it was too wrestling or it was too old school. But so much of that stuff was fun, and that's some of the things that I find endearing about this sport and this business, where it's I even as a form of entertainment and athleticism, I want to see it all. I want to see big guys and little guys. I want to see funny guys. I want to see serious guys. I want, it's like the circus. I want the clowns, the elephants, the gorillas, the monkeys. I want all of it, because and then everybody's unique. Everybody's got something to offer, not only the fans, but the company, their opponents, and then the dynamics in between the personalities create really fun matchups.
They really are. And
wait, Jay, why are you talking about tea? Are you secretly British?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm James Bond.
There you go, James Bond. That's his exploding dog.
What?
Yeah, I'm James Bond. Didn't you hear?
Like the detective?
Yeah, but that's why I grew this beard, so I'm undercover. Just don't blow it for me.
Which Bond are you?
The hot one, the sexy one.
Well, they
The
all
one,
were.
the one that all the girls like. That one. That's the one I am.
There you go. Then there you go. See, there you go,
Way to blow his
Legursky.
cover,
You found
Joe.
out something new
Kayfabe.
tonight. What's that, Spank?
Way to blow his cover. Kayfabe, pal.
Yeah. Jesus,
it happens.
you youngins.
But you know, like I said, you guys have had one hell of a run. You know, with these championships, you've had a hell of a run with the National Wrestling Alliance. In my opinion, and I know you guys probably feel the same way. The NWA is, I mean, it is probably, in my opinion, again, like I said, if you want to wrestle, you go to the NWA. If you want entertainment, you go to the NWA. If you want to see, you know, up and comers with you know, stars of other organizations from the past, as in Cardona or Tyrus, you got that too. And I watched a match that you guys had against, I believe it was Rolando and Rush. Or I think it was on USA a couple of weeks ago.
Pierce and Rush and Rolando.
Okay, there you
involved.
go. There you go. And now you guys beat them. And did Rolando not pin Cardona twice?
So technically, we're the uncrowned like heavyweight champions of the NWA.
I got you.
Basically.
Hey, Wrecking Ball, we're asking for bigger raises now. I want a cut of the gate now because
Bigger raise,
we should be working on top. I want 20% of the gates, and we'll do 5% of everybody else.
I was going to say, so now you're going to work on commission. So
No. That's on top. That's on top of our booking fee.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, you kids of today.
I might even pull a Brody when my music gets out, and I don't know if I'm not in a good mood. I might just, you know, decide I'm not going to go out there. We'll see how good that goes.
Well, let's jump off of the NWA for just a half a second. Now I know, Jay, that your independent wrestling is limited as far right now. Wrecking Ball, I know that you're on the independent scene quite often. Where can these fans see you?
Throughout the Northeast. One of the biggest ones I wrestle for is Northeast Wrestling. The Northeast Wrestling, you know.
Hang on. I want to stop you 1 sec. Hold on. Everybody, I want you to take a look at his head is so big, he's got to hold it up so it doesn't roll off of his shoulders. And you wonder why we call him a wrecking ball.
That is impressive.
Continue.
It's going to go from side to side like you do.
I came like a rain.
Sing it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Spank. I mean, you got the floor. I mean, we're all going to laugh at
All
you.
I wanted was to break your walls. All you ever did was
I think I'm going to bar him from the show.
That's probably a good idea at this point.
Okay, Wrecking Ball, continue, please.
He looks like the Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Northeast Wrestling runs in Connecticut, New York, sometimes New Jersey, Pennsylvania. It's one of the biggest independents out there. They don't refer to themselves as independents, but we've had a bunch of huge matches there. We've had Kurt Angle versus Cody Rhodes in a cage match. We were the first to do Young Bucks versus the Hardys. So I wrestle a lot for there. I wrestle for Battleground, which runs out of the ECW arena. And
no, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm the next Battleground. I'm wrestling Alpha Junior on March 18th. I was recently on an ECW reunion show. I tagged with Shane Douglas and this guy Ray Jazz. He's another up and comer out of the Northeast. We were called the New Triple Threat. So Northeast Wrestling, Battleground. Wrestling actually Ron Bass Jr. for Catalyst Wrestling.
Yeah, you were telling me that the other night.
Yeah. Ron Bass Jr. for Catalyst Wrestling. There's Tetsu Pro, which is in Connecticut as well. That's coming up February 25th.
He
March
stays
11th.
busy, man.
Yeah.
You know, this dude stays busy.
February 18th is Northeast Wrestling in Bethany, Connecticut. February 25th, Tattoo Pro in Bristol, Connecticut. March 11th is Northeast Wrestling in, I don't know whether it's, I think it's in Waterbury, Connecticut. And March 18th is back to Battleground. And this Sunday is
Jeez, man,
Catalyst
you're all
Wrestling
over
in
the
Brooklyn.
place.
Yeah.
My Lord.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I thought I was everywhere back in the day, man.
Let me stop everybody. And before Spank gets there and does it poorly, he comes in like a wrecking ball to all these places.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I got you.
And I can believe that. I guarantee I can believe that. It's, you know, like I said, I know that you guys have NWA in Knoxville coming up. We got, Tampa is coming up in February as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Mexico City is in March.
Arriba.
So that right there should be an interesting show in itself, with AAA versus the NWA. You guys know AAA better than I would. How does the NWA stack up against a group like AAA?
That's a really interesting dynamic and an interesting question. AAA is I think it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest wrestling company in the world. I can't remember when it was started, but I mean, the history there is so deep and rich. But I say with that, but it's Lucha Libre, which is a very different dynamic than anything else out there in the world, honestly, outside even pro wrestling and the world. A lot of colorful, there's a flamboyant, charismatic characters, masks, obviously huge traditions there. But the NWA on that time, it has always been kind of like a hodgepodge, like you mentioned earlier. Like you had people like the Guerreros come up from Mexico and wrestle within the NWA, or guys that were, more like Southwestern, like the Texas-based wrestlers. Maybe some of those guys from Houston brought that style into America and into the NWA. And then if you also had your brawlers, your big men, you had, guys coming in from Japan like Hiro Matsuda, or even later beyond that, like a Liger and Chono and Muda and those guys. So there's both really deep in traditions in their own way. But with Mexico, it's just very, typically strict lucha, that fast-paced, high-flying style. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see who matches up with who. Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you exactly who AAA is bringing to the table. I don't know who the NWA is bringing to the table just yet. I have a feeling we're probably going to let the young Lions get in there as far as that goes. Guys who are working that, a junior heavyweight style, more of a fast-paced, high-flying, high athleticism type of a match, because that's what the Mexican fans are so used to seeing. So at that, if you want people to come watch your wrestling, you got to give them what they expect. If from a promoter standpoint, if you're going to sell tickets, you got to sell them something they want to see.
Exactly.
So we'll see. It'll be an interesting. If anything, I think it's a great opportunity for, the reestablishment of the NWA as not only a place in a prominent place in pro wrestling, but now in an international light and an international scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows what it could springboard? You know what I mean? Pro wrestling is literally all over the world. You go to, Mexico, South America, Canada, Asia, particularly with Japan, and even China has groups now, and then even into all across Europe. So
and Australia's up and coming again. And that would be a great trip to take, down there, there in New Zealand and in that area and in there. I'm like you, though. I think it's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see who matches with who. I honestly, to see you guys or the gentlemen go down to Mexico, I can't see any of them kind of matching up with your all size or strength. like I said, I don't know a
Or
lot about
beauty.
AAA, but I just don't. I just see you guys being the, I guess. Well, and you can throw Trevor Murdoch into that, and Tyrus, and for that matter, even Cardona, um, just the big guys. And
Yeah, Cardona is he's sneaky with his size. People don't think how big he actually is until you meet him and how well put together he is.
and he is. You're
he's a
right.
heavyweight.
Oh, sure. There's no doubt, no doubt. I know that the NWA is rich with tradition, as is AAA. I know that the one thing that I believe all you all can agree on is the main event that night is going to be the Smashing Pumpkins, and I believe that everybody can agree that right there is going to be one hell of a main event. So
Yeah.
in my opinion,
I saw the Big Boss and the Pumpkins play in Nashville late 2022, and they, I hate to make it say still, but like they still put on a great concert.
sure.
You know what I mean? And they damn near, I think it was just under a sellout in Nashville, and that was kind of a cool dynamic, and that they're a band I grew up listening to. They hit their prominence when I was in high school and whatnot. But it was kind of cool to see. Like I saw Jerry Lynn. I saw Jerry. Jesus, what was that? You okay? Are you alive?
I was gonna say, you okay over there?
Yeah.
I think he's
So,
snoring.
but at the concert, anyways, like I saw Jerry Lynn, another great wrestler, but he was there with his teenage daughter, and there was a lot of that, like people who had listened to the Pumpkins years ago, bringing in teenagers and younger
Mhm.
that were their children or their niece and nephews to like share the experience. It kind of made it a cool dynamic.
Sure.
And like I said, if it's the same thing in Mexico and it's supposed to be a huge soccer stadium, like that place will be rocking.
I think so too, and it'll probably be a sellout. And I don't know if you guys have ever worked in front of 50,000 people, but I'm sure that it's got to be a great experience. I think the most I ever worked in front of was like 26,000, and that was in Cincinnati 100 years ago. Even going over here to Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville, when I worked for the WWF there. It was nowhere near a sellout. I mean, I think they may have had 10,000 people in a 25,000 seat arena. So, but people, Puerto Rico and Mexico and Japan, they love their pro wrestling, and they tend to sell out every arena or stadium that is ever booked. So hopefully you guys get down there and rock with that. We're slowly running out of time. We got about 5 minutes left. Wrecking Ball, anything you want to bring up with this? Anything at all?
Fixers rule.
Fixers rule.
Yeah.
You could check out my social media pages. My Twitter is at Wrecking Ball 75. It's the number 75. And my Instagram is wrecking _ball _Legursky, LEGURSKY. Yeah, just me and Jay are looking for more tag team bookings together, outside of the NWA.
Joe, I do know one.
Yeah.
Jay, what do you got, man? Any social media,
Yeah.
anything that you guys hit you up on?
Yeah, he knows one. Well, which promotion
boy's
could
the
he
Stu
be
Crew.
talking about?
My boy's the Stu Crew.
Spank, Jay's trying to speak.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Shut up, Kool-Aid man. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
On Instagram, I am Jay Bradley PW, and it's JAY, just like my name, BRADLEY PW for pro wrestling. And Facebook fan page is just strictly facebook.com J Bradley. I'm terrible at social media, but I'm this is Wrecking Ball's strong suit, so I kind of let him take the lead on this because he's really good at just poking buttons and making things happen, and I just do what he does. But yeah, hit us up. I think we had some conversations, like you said earlier in the week, about some potential bookings with some really interesting promotions coming up this spring, so we'll see what pans out, and you might be seeing a whole lot more of the fixers.
Well, that's what we want to see. Like I said, I love the fixers, regardless of what anybody says. You guys are a great tag team. You've been fighting champions. You've been great champions. Any other time, I would always say fixers rule, but we're going to Knoxville, and ladies and gentlemen rule. Just like the Kazanas rule in Knoxville.
Oh, he's been waiting like all day to say
that, man.
Like, I got this line. I'm gonna get him.
I'm gonna steal the fixers line and just say country gentlemen, rule.
No. No.
But Spanky, you want to say anything to these gentlemen before you get off here?
Joe, what?
Look, Joe, I get you want to say gentlemen rule, but in Knoxville,
we're fixers.
Look, I've wrestled AJ before. He kicked my ass.
No kidding.
But I will never cheer for a damn Kazana. Fixers rule.
Fixers rule.
There you go, guys. There you go. Jay, Wrecking Ball, I look forward to seeing you both in Knoxville. Maybe we'll get an opportunity to go grab a bite to eat there at Louis. Like I said, it's not too far from the convention center. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, and you guys are more than welcome to come back anytime. If you got something you want to promote, holler at me and we'll bring you on. And maybe one of these days I can have the fixers at Joe Kazana Promotions.
All right.
That's the plan. We'll make it happen.
I want to make it happen, guys. But like I said, thank you all so much. And fans, thank you for watching this on the JCP YouTube channel. So for Spanky, I'm Joe Kazana. These are the fixers, and we'll see you in Knoxville.
Fixers rule.
Fixers rule. Kazana sucks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rocky